So I gotta make water and grow food on a planet where nothing grows. But if I can't figure out a way to make contact with NASA, then none of this matters anyway.
We've got an incoming message.
Mein Gott. Mark Watney's still alive.
Matt Damon is an astronaut stranded on Mars in Ridley Scott's new film, The Martian. It's also just one of the highly anticipated movies hitting theaters this weekend and is already generating a whole lot of buzz. Our film critic Richard Crouse joins us with his reviews, and this one premiered at TIFF. I remember you did the news conference for this.
Hosted the press conference with Matt Damon and Ridley Scott and a whole bunch. And this is a good movie. This is a crowd pleaser of a movie. Matt Damon and his crew are on Mars. The huge storm breaks out, and he's left behind for dead. They have to leave in sort of an emergency evacuation. He's left behind for dead. Lo and behold, he's not. And he's alone on Mars and has to figure a way to, as he says, science his way to survival. And this movie really is made up of three very distinct kind of components. There's the life on Mars. There are the space cowboys, his crew that are out there, you know, hurtling their way back to Earth. And then there's ground control, and they're all sort of working together to stage a rescue mission. It's a fun movie, it's an entertaining movie, but most of all, it's Matt Damon's movie. Matt Damon in this movie is alone for most of the time. In fact, when I interviewed him for this, he said, I didn't meet most of the cast until the Toronto International Film Festival because most of his scenes are alone on Mars. But he's likable. Forbes most recently called him their most bankable star in Hollywood. So you become kind of invested in him getting off the planet.
Listen, in my books, a lot of Matt Damon is a very good thing. Now, listen, Ridley Scott, the director, knows a thing or two about space. How does he handle all of this?
He's made a movie that very much looks like a space movie, but it's really a Western. It's all about one man against the odds in hostile terrain, and it's a terrific movie.
How many stars?
Crowd pleaser. So 4 stars.
You really liked it.
I liked this one.
Okay, now let's get to The Walk. We talked about it earlier and how audiences are getting sick because it's so lifelike, the 3D.
Yeah. So what happens here? This is based on a true story that takes us back to the time of like Evel Knievel, the early 70s, when human achievement and success in human achievement was, moderated by not how many Instagram followers you have, but by sort of these great things that you might do, these outrageous things that you might do. So Philippe Petit decides that he's going to string a tightrope between the twin towers of the World Trade Center illegally and walk across just to sort of instill a sense of wonder in New Yorkers. He's passionate about his art form, which is tightrope walking, and he wants to share it with the world and show people that anything is possible if you put your mind to it.
Look at these camera angles, Richard.
And so what you have here is a long build-up. So there's an hour and a half of build-up where you meet him as a small boy. You learn about his passion for tightrope walking. You see him learning how to do it at the feet of his master, played by Ben Kingsley. He meets a girl played by Canadian actress Charlotte Le Bon, goes to New York. The whole thing is very much a procedural. And it plods along a little bit. It wasn't my favorite part of the movie. And then the walk happens. And you see him in 3D on a screen the size of 4 football fields put together on an IMAX screen, walking across the World Trade Center rope, and it feels like you are there with him.
Did you get queasy?
A little bit. I had to look away several times. So if you have vertigo, if you are afraid of heights, you might have some trouble with this, but it is beautiful, it is lyrical, it is a really spectacularly shot sequence. It lasts about 20 or 25 minutes.
How many stars?
3.5 stars for this one.
Okay, so a good weekend at the movies.
It is a good weekend at the movies.
Nice to see you, my friend. And you can read all of Richard's reviews on our website at canadaam.ctvnews.ca.